So our next presenting company is Sinopharm Taiwan. Sinopharm Taiwan specializes in process R&D and the production of cGMP APIs. It offers full range of API services from process development, production of early-phase clinical trial material, to large-scale manufacturing for commercial launches. Now let's welcome Ms. Zhou Shen, the President and CEO of the company, to come on stage to present to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the invitation. It's our pleasure and our honor to be back here for probably the 6th or 7th time that Sinopharm has come. In the past, it was like part of a China track. Today is the first time we're out of Chinese shadow. We're in the Asian track here. Next time you need a little step up on me because I'm too short. Okay, I can't see you. I've seen, looking at many familiar faces, that as you know, Sinopharm is not a brand new company. We have celebrated our 15th year's anniversary just last November. We're entering into our 16 years. We hardly can call ourselves a startup company, but as you probably are familiar that in this industry, we have examined our path, how we started up, how we built up to this stage. We constantly review our steps to see if we have missed anything, that why did it take so long? And we found out there's really no shortcut. And I think once you finish listening to my presentation, you will know with the scales that we have built ourselves, and actually we've done our best, and anybody can imagine in terms of speed and the size. The picture here are the two sites. The one on the upper side is the current site, our first site that built in Taiwan and has a complete facility for R&D, process development, and the manufacturing of many different lines, including 6 to 7 high-potency cytotoxic facilities. I believe this is the plant that probably compared to many facilities in the world that has the largest capacity for oncological APIs. The computer graphics picture on the right is our site in China that currently under construction. We're about 50% done. The rest will be finished by the end of the year. And the land size are identical, and the quality and GMP and the environmental health standards going to be identical. So we hope we will double our facility and capacities in the very near future. This is a disclaimer. Today, I would like to, for those of you who have not heard about Sinopharm, I'll take a very little time, just kind of bring you up to speed, and then we'll talk a little bit about our financial performance. But I would like to emphasize and spend the time to discuss and share with you what we see as opportunities that in front of us and how we are going to make the strategic moves to capture the opportunities. And the areas we're going to talk about is, as you know, we already are the world leaders in providing oncological APIs, how we're going to do that continuously. And then we also see in Japan how we can expand using our core competence to expand our market. And then I would like to spend a little bit more time on the China angle, how we think ourselves that having specific contribution to the pharmaceutical industry, both in China as well as the international market, and by using our China facilities. Then the last one is what I would also like you to walk away and remembering us. We're no longer just an API company. We have disclosed and we have shared with our investors in Taiwan that we're going to be an API plus ANDA company, meaning some of the APIs we no longer will provide to the merchant market. We will put it into the formulation. We'll work exclusively with whichever customers the nicest to us, so that we will dominate that particular product market share. So this is a strategy that we think is important to add on top of our core growth curve. Then we can have a higher value added based on the investment we make. So hopefully I will be able to give you a clear idea how we're going to do it. As I said, we used to introduce our company as API company, Active Pharmaceutical Ingredients Company. In the future, we hope you remember we are API plus ANDA. So we come up with a term called we are AA strategy, API plus ANDA, so AA. Okay. it's a meaning of that we take some very careful steps to start going downward for the vertical integration. As a company, we were founded by a group of people, including myself, who left the Bay Area, went to Taiwan, and we started a company called Sinopharm. The company in the Bay Area, if you're too young, if you haven't been in the industry for more than 15 years, you probably never heard about, was Syntex, which we were all very proud of that company. The company we established in Taiwan, 1997, and then a year and a half ago, roughly, we took it to public in Taiwan stock market, and today the market cap is about $1.5 to $1.6 billion. The major shareholders consist of the Taiwan government, a very large conglomerate group called Uni-Presidents Group. They're into everything, food and distribution and everything, but except pharmaceuticals. So we are their first major pharmaceutical investment. Then plus some development fund from the government and also Taiwan Sugar. Now, our site was built to be for world-class, and with the experts, I brought about 50 to 60 ex-Syntex colleagues to Taiwan. We built a plant, and we built an organization, and the plant has passed multiple inspections by the various regulatory authorities from the world. Recently, we just passed the 4th inspection by FDA, US FDA. And again, right from the beginning, we put into our genes that we say, okay, what is the missing link in the API supply? At the time when we built a company, it was very clear there were many small molecule anti-cancer drugs coming on the market. Then we didn't see a major powerhouse of API companies that specialize in oncology APIs. So we built a facility with containment technologies and with the ability to make cytotoxic compounds. So we have also, of course, facilities dedicated for steroids. So this is really our specialty. Now, with Taiwan side getting full and the capacities pretty much utilized, we started building the second site in China, which I will mention a little bit more. But what we also are very excited is about the Chinese emerging market, that because of the raising GMP standards, all of a sudden we found out that we can have equal footing against some of the best Chinese local company in terms of taking away the the API market there by having our facility built in China. Okay, our business is, as the introductory mentioned, that we're in the API business for the generic market. That's our major business. Then our major market right from day one has been US, Europe, and then Japan. We have done nothing, zero so far in China, so we're excited about getting to the Chinese market. But again, based on the performance so far we have, our specialty in oncological APIs are still the most popular group of products. Then we have developed a total over about 60 products, but only with 21 launched. The rest have been lined up for the launches in the next few years. We have filed 43 DMFs in the US, but the same products we also file worldwide in more than 60 countries for more than 600 DMFs. And but out of that 43 DMFs, we have 20 belonging to the oncological injectable APIs. So again, that shows you our emphasis and our niche capabilities. As API is being produced, no matter it's for generic products or for brand product for entities, the same kind of GMP requirements is required, same kind of environmental safety concerns are there. And ever since our plant has been inspected, approved by US FDA, we have been approached by many new drug development companies, either virtual biotech companies or big pharma, in preparing the APIs for their clinical studies. And then for those products that were lucky and were fortunate to sail through the clinical trials and went through the NDA registration, once they are launched, we have become their exclusive supplier for their commercial needs. Currently, there are 4 products on the market that's supplied by us exclusively. I believe this marks Sinopharm as the only company in Asia providing multiple chemicals for NCEs for the Western regulated market requirements. I think the other one may be WuXi Pharmatech. I understand they have 1 product now. But we have been doing this since 2005. The 2 facilities I mentioned a little bit before, the China site Currently, we have finished a large chemical intermediates production facility and also 2 small API lines. The significance of that chemical intermediate production capacity is because it can give Taiwan side a big relief. The Taiwan side can shift some of the intermediates production to the China side, so allowing the Taiwan side to do more of the API, the final GMP steps. So that way we can continuously, year after year, to grow our sales before the China side gets completely done and certified by FDA for API production. So eventually we want both sides can do both intermediates as well as APIs. And both sides can supply to the world market, US, Europe, and Japan. But China side has one advantage, is being inside of China, I think it will do more business for Chinese market. Financial results, this is really outdated because it was ending September. As of last night, we have, in Taiwan, every month we have to report our sales, and our company had made a policy we will report on the 9th of each month, so it happens to be last night, Taiwan time. We have reported our December sales. So adding all the sales together, we have reached $155 million this last year, under 2012, and which represents 15.8% of increase over the year before. And in about another 3-4 weeks, we will have the bottom line released after it's completely done. Now, in terms of cash in hand, we have currently about $80 million US dollars in hand. We have no debt, and all the CapEx requirements were funded by our own operating income. In this cash flow slides, I just want to point out the cash flow from financing activities primarily represents the cash dividends we passed out last September. It was about $21 million US dollars plus 3% stock dividends. Okay. Now, in terms of our business, the major section still remains the generics. But since we have provided APS for the various NCE new product launches, our CMO section started to grow. So you see the relative percentage of generics reduced from the year before. But of course, the total size is increased. And then indication-wise, because of those newly launched NCEs are in the CNS drug category, they're not oncology category. So that yellow piece of pie also have grown, yeah. And in terms of region of our sales goes to, direct sales goes to Europe and US, Canada, and a big chunk of the Asia sales actually went through India. And India is our passageway to Europe and US because US, Europe companies, customers tend to outsource their formulation productions to Indian companies. So all of our APIs went to India, got converted into dosage forms, and completely exported from India into US, Europe. So again, our primary market is still US, Europe. There's a small piece of market in Japan, which is not big enough to plot it this year, but hopefully as time goes on, we're gonna be able to proudly present a little piece that belongs to the Japanese market. Okay. Now I wanted to just emphasize on our opportunities. We continuously compare ourselves with all the suppliers of oncological APIs, and what we wanted to be able to always maintain the leadership in that. So this is definitely our goal. Then I will just go down to that last slide to talk about how we are doing. We have 25 oncological APIs in our portfolio, and 10 has been launched. So there's still more to be launched. But each year we add another few into our research pipeline. So we want to continuously build up the so-called inventory of new products and focusing on oncological. So this way, if anybody wants to start trying to catch up with us, it's going to take some time. Secondly is we have the product selection process starts very early. Used to be 5 to 10 years before patent expires. But now, with our major customers and ourselves are studying the clinical research reports of new drugs, which are still in phase 2, phase 3, we start comparing notes. We start making parallel decision-making process, but we're connected so that we choose products when the new product's still in phase 2. We try to decide we're going to use that as our future product. So it's very early. By doing that, as soon as we have the products available in samples, GMP materials, our key customers will take it and start formulating and start filing ANDA. So it's very scary. Of course, that's after the new product launched, the originator's product launched. But we've been doing this this kind of strategic product selection process with Teva, with Sandoz, and those are all key customers. And I think that relationship is going to be really a partnership, and that allows us to pick products so that from the day we start developing the API, we already know the market share, how much we're going to have. Because any of those key customers launch their product, they take 20 to 30% market share right there. And there are not too many generic companies can do the oncological formulations. So I think that is a very key how we can keep our world leadership position in oncological APIs. Now, just to give you an example, almost half of the docetaxel, which is the active ingredients of Taxotere used worldwide, came from Sinopharm, came from that factory in Taiwan. Okay, 48%. Irinotecan, the product has expired almost 4 years, and we're still supplying 40% of worldwide requirement. Paclitaxel, the patent expired before our company was born, but today we're providing 20% because one of our key customers has a very good market share. So I think that explains this. We use the ultimate market share as our performance index, but we prepare ourselves way ahead of time, 10 to 15 years ahead of time, to make sure we'll be there. Okay. Now, this chart gives you another evidence of showing why we think we are still ahead of others by looking at the US DMFs of the oncological APIs belong to those category. And the companies on the top upper half of the chart are pure API companies. They don't have their own formulation plants. And if you look at the red bar means the oncological DMFs, oncological API DMFs. We're far ahead of everybody. The second half of the chart are the companies. They are fully integrated companies. They have API capabilities as well as their own formulation capabilities. They also sell APIs to their competitors. And then look at the red part. That's the oncological portfolio. We're still ahead of most of them. So I think we continuously compare ourselves with all the competitors in this area. Now, the second area as opportunity we will look at that facing us is the Japanese market. As you know that the Japan market is the second largest market, second to US, but their generic market is very small because they started very, very late, which is a good blessing to Sinopharm because then give us an opportunity to enter the market at the same time as others. Their current, the generic prescription is only about 19% of total, as compared to in the US, it's like 80%. So there's a big room for generic volume. To the extent, I think the Japanese government actually encouraged even brand companies to develop generic products. So we have some Japanese brand companies buying the generic APIs, making generics and launching generics in Japanese market. Currently, we have 6 products on the market, and we're continuously going to grow because our penetration into the Japanese market really started only 3 years ago. Now I'm going to switch gear, talk about China angle. With the site built outside of Shanghai, we have ability to look at this site helping us in 3 different ways. One is the internal supply chain management. We will have our control of the key intermediates we can produce in China, feeding the Taiwanese plant. And Taiwanese plant has some of the larger volume products if we produce in Taiwanese plant because the cost structure is not competitive. So we are able to pick some of the large volume API products and put in our China plant. The other thing is our Chinese plant also can serve as contingency purpose to back up the Taiwanese plant, especially for the oncological APIs. Okay, that's from China supply chain angle. The other China angle is the Chinese API business, and which is growing. And we know there are 3 major companies providing oncological products in China: Hysan and Hengrui and Qilu. They have their own API facility capabilities as well as they put it all into their formulations. So they don't sell APIs to the merchant market. So once we show our faces inside in China, we start getting a lot of calls of the Chinese factories. they want to buy API and put into the injectable formulation. So we, again, look ourselves, the core components of injectable API for oncology products are still going to be the one helping us to sail through the process of getting into China. I think we will combine our forces in Taiwan as well as the plant in China to satisfy the demand. The problem with Taiwan shipping product to China is the import drug permit application process is very long. So we probably, because of that, we're going to do a lot of production inside of China for the Chinese market requirements. The other angle we see our plant in China that can really help our business and help our customers is many multinational companies have been running around looking for one or two nice, very well-equipped API plants to take care of their API contract manufacturing needs. And they are looking for technical capabilities and quality GMP, and particularly the environmental health and safety standards. Since our plant is built to the Western standard in China, and I think we think we have a lot of opportunity to help them. We want to work on the product. Of course, for mature product, we can do that, but we also prefer working with our customers for the new drugs in the phase 2, phase 3s. So once we provide it there, and then the material, once their NDAs got approved, then we got a contract of commercial supply automatically set up. So this is the angle, the third Chinese angle that we have for our plant in China. The most important strategy that we started rolling out this year, or last year, I'm sorry, is the AA strategy, is to think about if there are many APIs very difficult to make, and particularly for the oncological APIs, which requires the very different facilities that most of API factories don't have, why do we want to sell to the whole world and let so many people using our APIs, and they're all trying to kill each other on the pricing, and then came back and put so much pressure on our own pricing. So we start learning, okay, we're still young, still learning. So for the new APIs, right from the time we decided to develop those APIs, we're going to earmark those. Those are the APIs we will no longer sell to the market. What we're going to do is put into our own formulation. Because of that, our board has approved a plan to build an injectable plant for oncology products. So we're going to do our own formulation, put our APIs into the formulation, and then we can have a co-development program with our customer, or we can register the products ourselves, having our own dossiers. Then in each market, we can have a license to different customers. But this strategy is based on very important philosophy. We're still going to be a B2B business provider, so we're not going to compete against our customers. So I think this is a very exciting strategy. We're working carefully and selecting several APIs already put into this scheme. In our business outlook, each year, in the beginning of the year, we're going to have a manual like that, telling our investors, and those are the products and markets that our customers are going to launch using our API. And we have this kind of manual already planned out for the next 5 to 7 years. Okay, and those products were developed 5 to 10 years ago. So this is a very long lag time of business, but that's how we can master the market share of presence by working very early with the key customer. Okay, so the last slide is again summarizing the outlook of our business. We intend to remain as the world leader for the oncology APIs at any cost, and we want to also penetrate into the Japanese market with our oncology product primarily. And in China, we'll take care of the supply chain, the CMO, and also satisfying the Chinese business demand. But the important thing is that we're going to start, in addition to our organic growth curve, we're going to build another inorganic, quote-unquote, curve, is allowing us to add more value to what we invest in our oncology API by moving downstream into the formulation business. But again, it's one-stop shop for our customer. It's a total solution for our customer. And you'll be surprised, 90% of our customers today buying APIs for oncological products don't have their own internal capabilities of making formulations. So when we announced this, and they were so happy, they were so thrilled, and couldn't wait until we have our products ready coming out of injectable facility. Okay, this concludes my presentation. Thank you very much.